Welcome to the world of cells. All living organisms are made up of cells. They are the tiny building blocks to everything that you see living around you. Plants have cells. This is what it looks like when we take a look at the inside of plant material. Animal cells vary from plant cells in the way that they look and the way they act. Here we can see different types of tissues and their cells from around the human body. We are going to take a closer look at each individual case. First type of cell we are going to look at is the animal cell. It contains an outer layer called the cell membrane. The cell membrane controls what comes in and out of the animal as well as the plant cell. Inside the animal cell, you'll find a nucleus. The nucleus contains all the DNA instructions for that cell. It acts kind of like the brain. You will find parts called the mitochondria. The mitochondria turn sugar into useful energy for the cell. These are also found in plant cells. They were once their own type of living cell, eaten by an ancient cell. You'll find small sacs called vacuoles, and vacuoles contain things like water, waste, and sugar going in and out of the cell. The membrane around the outside of a vacuole comes from the cell membrane. And last but certainly not least is the jelly-like fluid found on the inside of both plant and animal cells. This is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is what allows for materials to move around inside the cell. Think of it kind of like Jello. These are the basic parts of an animal cell. Here we can see some examples of different types of animal cells. We can have blood cells, such as red blood cells. As well, we can see down here we have different types of blood cells as well. Red blood cells. Okay, and then we have things like white blood cells. All of these are fairly small cells. We can find things like skin cells, epithelial cells. We have bone cells, your reproductive cells, and different types of muscle. So this would be muscle from your organs, muscles from around your heart, and these are the muscles that you flex to show which way the beach is. Also, you have nerve cells, and some of these can be quite large inside your body. Plant cells contain many of the same parts as an animal cell. They have a nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuoles, and the mitochondria. They also have a few other things that plants or animal cells do not have. They have a large main vacuole. It contains a lot of water. This is what helps keep plants in their nice square shape in their cells. As well, plants also have a thick outer layer called the cell wall. This cell wall gives us plant cells lots of strength. The last big difference has to do with another little organelle inside the plant cell. And these are called chloroplasts. And chloroplasts take sunlight as well as carbon dioxide and water and turn it into oxygen and sugar. This is what lets plants help us breathe. So these are the basics of a plant cell. Let's have a look at some plant and animal cells. Let's see if you can decide which one is which. Do you think these are plant or animal cells? How can you tell? These are animal cells. They have a nice round shape with no cell wall, like you'll find in plants. These are actually cheek cells. You will have a chance to have a look at some of your own cheek cells in the really near future. Here we have some close-ups of cheek cells. You can see things like the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the cell membrane. What you can't see are things like the vacuole, the mitochondria. They're just too small. Do you think that these are plant or animal cells? How can you tell? These are plant cells. We can tell because they have a very square shape. They look almost like bricks. This is because of the tough outer cell wall. Here we can see a close-up of our plant cells. These are onion cells. We can see things like the cell wall, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, okay, and also the cell membrane. You'll have a chance to work with onion cells in the very near future.